And it's not just about this election. It started, I think, in the last congressional election. The amount of money that was poured into campaigns by these super PACs with unlimited corporate spending as a result of Citizens United created a bitter and horribly nasty campaign throughout America, which I think carried over right into this Congress. And if you look ahead to this coming election in November, you realize that the money that was spent in the congressional is peanuts compared to what's going to be spent in this presidential campaign. I come from Florida. I was thrilled to come back to Washington this week just to get away from the ads that are bombarding all of us every day. Just this morning I read that Newt Gingrich's, one of Newt Gingrich's benefactors is going to put another $5 million into a super PAC. It's clear that it impacts elections. And then if you look at what caused us to redraft our amendment from what we had originally filed, if you look at the Occupy movement and the issues that they were championing, and whether it's income inequality or massive student loan debt or financial irregularities and all of the serious issues that we ought to be addressing, the fact that 50% of America is either in poverty or is a paycheck or two away from falling into poverty. You think about what we ought to be debating here, then you look at what we are debating, and our inability to even come up with, reach a simple consensus that when so many people are struggling, perhaps we can't afford to give subsidies to oil companies. You realize that the decisions that are being made here are being driven so much by special interests and by corporate interests, and not, as Keith says, not being made on behalf of the people. That's why we need to do this. So I introduced the amendment because we have to clarify that corporations aren't people. We have to be clear that they're subject to the regulations of the people through Congress. We have to be very clear that Congress has the authority to regulate both contributions to campaigns and expenditures. And most importantly at this moment, we have to amend the Constitution to clarify that for-profit corporations cannot spend their money, every dollar of which they raised for commercial purposes, to influence the outcome of elections. That's why this is, as you rightly point out, this is a movement moment, and I'm so thrilled that we're having this panel here today.